guys, how you doing? It's Henry at Motion Blows. We hit 25,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for your viewership. It's really appreciated. If you guys haven't seen my how I got started with YouTube, I'll leave a link in the description. Go check it out. Pretty good video. 248 edits. Wow. Anyway, my neighbor, again, brought me an Echo Weed Whacker. This is the GT225, otherwise known as the SRM225. So his complaint is, when you start it up, it revs really high. And also, after using it for a while, a lot of oil is dripping out of the carburetor. Do you know what that's about? I'll tell you what that's about. It's when the carburetor is over 2-3 years old, right? The diaphragm in there, which controls the flow of fuel, it pulses, right? Pushes the needle in and out, that's spring-loaded, and allows fuel to go in. If that diaphragm's really old and crusty and starting to get hard with no flex, it vibrates even faster because it's not flexible anymore. So more fuel is being pumped than it's supposed to. That's why it revs so high, and also because so much fuel is going through there, it doesn't even have time to burn. Because this is a 2-stroke machine, it uses 50-to-1 oil-gas mix. So because it's pulsing so fast, the gas burns, but the oil doesn't have time to. So the excess oil comes out of the carburetor through the air filter and leaks. So instead of my spending a lot of time trying to fix a 2-stroke machine, which I hate, what do? You just buy a $10 HIPA carburetor and be done with it. We'll change this thing in 2 minutes. I'm gonna start it up right now. I'm gonna start it up right now and just see what's wrong with it. Got the up and down stop start switch. When it's cold, you put it on choke. Prime it like 1,000 times. I can never start these things on a table or holding it. I gotta put it on the ground. Yes, I'm gonna get to it. I've been really busy with other stuff. Not only that, I'm waiting for a new connecting rod. This thing is all discombobulated. It's supposed to be like this, right? And then look at this. Why is this turned that way? It should be that way. But I can't seem to turn it to get it that direction. Whatever. Honestly, I think it's okay. It does balk in the beginning, but you know, you gotta warm it up for at least 30 seconds to a minute. It doesn't really rev up that high. Full throttle gets to that limit where what you need to weed whack. But his complaint, of course, was it was leaking. And yes, the carburetor probably could be changed because the diaphragm's worn. I gotta figure out why this thing is pointed sideways while this is straight, you know what I mean? could do this, but then your handle is sideways, and this is fixed. So I just got this in the mail. They asked me to try it and show it to you guys, because while you're working in the garage or in your house, sometimes in the summertime, flies get into the house and all kinds of little bugs, fruit flies, house flies, gnats, moths. This is the Wowcatch flying insect light trap. I'll try anything once. User manual, cartridges. So it looks like that. Pretty cool design. LED lights, flat on the outside. Just plug it into your 110 AC house light socket, and I guess this light lights up. Inside here are these thingamabobs, 3 of them. You pull this apart. Oh, that's really sticky. So it's like fly paper, both sides. So it's super sticky on both sides of this. And I guess you just stick it right here. Stick it in your socket. The light attracts the bugs. They fly here, get stuck on the fly paper. And there you have it. No more bugs in your house. Let's go plug it into my kitchen. Just plug this into my kitchen. There you go. Let's see if it catches anything in the next few days. So it's been 2 days. Let's see if we caught anything. Nothing. Well, maybe I'm fortunate that I don't have bugs in my kitchen. At least the past 2 days. Let's take it outside into the garage. I'm sure there's bugs there. Surely there's bugs in the garage, outdoors. Sure there is. And stop calling me Shirley. So we'll leave this here for a couple of days and see if we catch any bugs. Okay, it's been all day. This side, nothing. Ooh, we got 1 bug, yay! So I'm lucky I don't have a whole lot of bugs around here. But if you did, this would totally work. Inconspicuous, works as a nightlight too. If you guys are interested in something like this, I'll leave a link in the description. So I got that all figured out. This is curved downwards, straight up. This stuff here pointed upwards. I wonder what he thinks was leaking was the gas. It probably was, because when this thing was discombobulated and pointed sideways, he always has to turn this way to whack. And therefore this thing is always pointed down. So the gas will leak out of this cap after a while. You know what I mean? These caps, they go bad after a while. So I wonder if that's it, because I don't see any oil or gas residue coming out of the air filter. So maybe that was it. Just making this shaft pointed downwards, this stuff upwards, it's now even. Whereas the head was pointed sideways. So you would have to turn it to the side to weed whack. Therefore, this thing would be pointed down over time. And if you filled it up a lot, the pressure, it'll leak gas out. Because maybe the vent wasn't working very well on this. And this has an individual vent over here, see? Let's take off the air cleaner. It shows it's clean. There's no oil, see? Usually there's a lot of oil that's built up around here if that diaphragm wasn't working right. But you know what? I don't really feel a need to change the carburetor, to be honest with you. It was just this thing. And this is the OEM carburetor. Sometimes you don't want to put an aftermarket in here if it works fine. Well, there is some oil. Not a lot though, it's normal. I don't really see anything wrong with it other than this thing being discombobulated. I think that was the reason why he felt there was something wrong with it, because it was leaking. But it starts up easily, runs great, idles great, and at full throttle, it's to the limit. I don't see anything wrong with it. Of course, I haven't used it for very long, so maybe after using it for a while. But that wasn't his complaint, though. It never bogs down, you know? So while I do have a new carburetor here from HIPA, why fix something that's not broken? So I put everything back. Cleaned it up a little, put everything back. I really don't see anything wrong with it other than the shaft being pointed sideways. I think that's what it was. Because the shaft was pointed sideways, I loosened up these torque screws here and this main shaft tightener, tightened this all up, put it back into place. So now when he weed whacks, this is level. The fuel cap is pointed upwards, so it's not always turned like this, so that fuel is pouring out. So the moral of the story is, I'm too honest. If I was a shyster, that's right, you guys know what a shyster is. Not shyster, shyster. I'd probably charge him like $50 for troubleshooting, getting a new carburetor, putting it back together again, shining it up, the service right there, $50. But because he's my neighbor, and I honestly, other than the fact that the shaft is pointed sideways, contributing to why the gas tank is pointed downwards, so gas will pour out, I don't see anything wrong with it. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, I fixed it a little, but I'm not going to charge him anything for it because I didn't replace the carburetor, because I honestly don't think you need it yet. Eventually that carburetor will fail and the diaphragm will fail to pump at a normal rate of fuel. Then he'll come back and say, this is doing that, this is doing this. Oh, well then you need a carburetor. But right now, we just straightened this shaft out, and I think that's all it was. So sometimes there's not a real intricate fix to it. So these fine men are from Trinidad, and they're interested in my John Deere LT160. They wrote down some stuff. Yeah, sum of $100 for deposit for the John Deere mower, LT160 automatic. $100 deposit. Let's see if they come back and get it. All right, I'm back home, and this was in my stoop. It's from Max Peating Rods. Over the past few years, I've had about 4 other opportunities to work with the company Max Peating Rods. For one reason or another, we never agreed to the terms and we never cooperated. Until now! They asked me if I'd like to try their 5-ton air jack. Well, as you guys know from another manufacturer, I already have a 3-ton air jack. Wow! And I use it all the time for my truck, for lawn tractors and everything. It's pneumatic. It has an airbag. and you just put your air compressor to it, inflate the airbag, and it goes up. I've had a couple of opportunities where I was changing my car brakes, and with big trucks and SUVs, the 3-ton one won't reach or won't push it high enough to have the wheel off the ground. So I'd always have to use like a wood block on top of it too to raise the wheel off the ground. The 5-ton one should be able to handle trucks and SUVs no problem, because it has more than one airbag, so that it extends the height higher. Let's open it up, put it together, and see what it looks like. So as you saw, it was very well packaged. Each individual piece was foam covered with insulation on it. Everything came immaculate. And I was very surprised, it's very good quality. You had to cut the length of the hose. This is extra hose in case you screw it up or something like that and you have to reroute the whole line. This is the air feed hose that the compressed air goes through to inflate the bag. As you can see, this bag is a 3-section bag, whereas my other one, the 3-ton one, only had one bag. So this is going to be able to inflate really high up. It also came with this very fancy sticker, max speeding rods, and this nozzle for your attachment, but I don't think I'll need it. And this is so cool. I didn't know what this was until I read the instructions. It's a hose cutter, the razor blade in it. That is so cool. I never had one of these before. So you just connected the hose to the nozzle, screwed it on really tight. You can pivot this. Lift it up, push it in, so it stands like that. Lift it up for different angles. It came with this height adjuster piece. Whereas even if you inflated this all the way up and your tire still wasn't off the ground and needed a few more inches, place this on top. And of course this is rubber right here. Let's connect the air compressor hose on there and give it some air. See how it works. Here's my air compressor hose attached to my air compressor. And here's a nozzle right there. Pull down. There you go. Let's see, here's like a joystick thing. Whoa, look at this. Holy cow. And that releases. Look at this. So pull back to inflate, push forward to release the pressure. Oh my God, that is so cool. This is way fancier than my 3-ton one. So pushing forward on this joystick is the pressure release, or lowering it, if you will. Of course, if you have weight on it, it'll deflate faster. That's awesome. Handles rubber coated. Here's the joystick. Here's a quick release valve. I just tightened that nut after putting the hose through there. Hose runs through this area here. These sections I tightened with a wrench. Goes all the way down here, and that goes into the bag. Here's some close-up views of the quality of it. It's very heavy too. Rollerblade type skate wheels. Excellent construction. I'm very impressed. Might be too high. Remove this. Now, this tractor is 1,200 pounds. All right, let's try it. Ready? Wow, cool. This is excellent. Look at all the space I got under here to put that pulley back on. And of course with this, you can make it go even higher. So how about it, fellers? You're removing the air source, but it still keeps the air in the bag because of the valve. This is exactly what I need, especially if you have an SUV or a truck where the height is already very high and regular conventional jacks will not lift the tires off the ground. You need one of these, the 5-ton max speeding rods air jack, pneumatic bags. Good stuff. If you guys are interested in something like this, I'll leave a link in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed the 5-minute video. See you guys next time on Mowers and Blowers. I guess I'm too honest, huh?
See you next time on Mowers and Blowers.